Praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakatah. Give us a sincere greeting to all the brothers and sisters scattered across the four corners, teaching this word with sincerity and charity. Today's class of Prince of Power, we are talking about investing in the kingdom, the ultimate retirement plan. A lot of us invest in a lot of things. A lot of us invest in the stock market. A lot of us investing in gold, investing in silver, trying to make, financial investments in business so that we can have some type of retirement, some kind of worldly retirement plan. But how much are we actually investing in the kingdom? How much are we actually investing in that everlasting, that eternal retirement? I tell you, another thing is that sometimes when we do invest in something, it builds a concern about it. A lot of us, we ain't concerned about the stock market. If you ain't got no stock, you ain't concerned about the stock market crash.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no mortgage. You ain't worried about the mortgage or another mortgage crisis or the mortgage bubbling. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got no gold, you're not worried about the gold coming down. You know what I'm saying? The price of gold coming down. But when you invest in something, you actually worry about them things. You actually gonna be concerned about them things. You know what I'm saying? So when you investing in the kingdom, you're gonna be concerned about it. And investing in something comes with expecting. It comes with expectation also. So when you invest in something, you actually expect, you actually respect something to come out of that. You actually have some kind of expectation. And when you have some kind of expectation, you also gonna have some kind of disappointment. It also gonna come with, disappointment. Expectation sometimes come with disappointment. Scripture suits say don't be anxious for nothing. But in dealing with the kingdom, it's pretty much a guarantee, man. It's written. Thus says the Lord, it's a guarantee. You invest in the kingdom, you're gonna see the reciprocity of the kingdom. Alright? Investing in the kingdom. Matthew chapter 6, verse 19 through 21. Let everybody get there before you start reading. Just say come when y'all there.
Book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust do corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal.
So Scripture telling you, lay up not for yourselves treasures upon the earth. And more than likely, that's what 9 times out of 10, that's what we doing. We laying up for ourselves treasures in earth, and then we getting stressed out and getting depressed when we don't have them treasures. And then when we do get the treasures, we mess around and get stressed out and get depressed. You know what I'm saying? So there ain't no happiness gonna come out of those treasures. Ain't no happiness gonna come unless you headed towards that ultimate treasure, and that's the kingdom. All right, where no moth or no rust doeth corrupt. Keep going out.
But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through and steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
So where your treasure is, that's where your heart gonna be. Those things that you investing in, you gonna be up all night thinking about it.
Right.
If you invest in the kingdom, you're gonna be up all night thinking about the kingdom. If you invest in the stock market, you're gonna wake up and just gonna be the first thing you check on your phone. You're gonna be looking at the stock market, seeing if it jumped, seeing if you lost money, seeing if you won money. So wherever a man's treasure is, that's where his heart gonna be also. So if your mind ain't really on the kingdom like that, it's because you ain't got a lot vested in it. You ain't investing a lot in it. Alright? We understand the reciprocity. I talk about this all the time. I'm gonna keep drilling. The reciprocity of the kingdom is the ultimate. It's a concept we gotta understand. All right, read the definition for reciprocity for me.
Reciprocity, the quality of state of being reciprocal. Reciprocal. Mutual dependence.
Mutual dependence. Come on.
Action or influence.
Action or influence. A mutual because that's what we on earth to do, to bring forth the influence of the kingdom. We're supposed to be influenced. We're supposed to be influencing the world to be like the kingdom,
right,
to do the will of the Father. Go ahead, give me the other one.
Number 2, a mutual exchange of privileges.
A mutual exchange of privileges. A mutual exchange of privileges. All right, keep reading on that though. Specifically,
recognition by one or two countries of institutions of the validity of licenses or privileges granted by the other.
So this is too a recognition between one or two countries, and this is what I'm talking about, the reciprocity of the kingdom on earth as it is in heaven. And we know that the kingdom is pretty much a government. Dominion is to govern. You know what I'm saying? So the kingdom is supposed to govern this world, right? And we supposed to, reciprocity is us getting that direct connection from the kingdom of the Most High that's up top to the kingdom that's going to be ran by Yahushua. But even before he comes, we are representatives, we are ambassadors of the kingdom. So we supposed to be setting up certain embassies wherever we are. Like this is an embassy right now. We in the embassy right now of the kingdom, right? And this supposed to be a place that's supposed to influence the world. People supposed to gain their citizenship of the kingdom and start influencing the world and benefiting for the reciprocity of the kingdom. Benefiting from those things that you do here, having direct effect, being directly influence certain actions that are in heaven. All right, we're gonna look at a couple of these. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 17.
Proverbs 19 and 17.
So you give us a second to get there. I say come when y'all there, or when y'all ready.
The book of Proverbs chapter 19, verse 17. He that hath pity upon the poor lendeth unto the Lord, and that which he hath given will he pay him again.
So he that have pity on the poor lendeth unto the Most High, lendeth to Yahweh, and that which he have given, he will pay him again. And you see the reciprocity, right? So what you let loose here, the Most High is gonna give back to you. It's gonna get let loose from the kingdom. All right, Matthew chapter 16, verse 19. Oh yeah, give us a second.
Book of Matthew chapter 16, verse 19. And I will give it to thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven.
He said, I'm gonna give to thee the keys to what?
The kingdom of heaven.
To the kingdom of heaven. Come on.
And whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in heaven.
This is an important precept, man. Whatsoever thou shalt bound on earth shall be bound in heaven. Come on.
And whatsoever thou shalt loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven.
And whatsoever thou shalt loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. And that's the reciprocity. Those things that you bind here are going to be bound there. Those things that you loose here, that you let loose here, is going to be loose there. So if you forgive your brother here, you're going to get that same forgiveness up there. The way you love your brother here is the same way you're going to get that love there. It's the reciprocity of the kingdom. Luke chapter 6, verse 38.
The book of Luke chapter 6, verse 38.
Give us a second to get there. We're going to work on it. Come.
Book of Luke chapter 6, verse 38. Give, and it shall be given unto you.
It says, give, and it shall be given unto you. Come on.
Good measure, pressed down and shaken together.
Good measure, pressed down, shaken together. Come on.
And running over.
And running over. Come on.
Shall men give unto your bosom. For with the same measure that you meet withal, it shall be measured to you again.
So with the same measure that you meet or that you give, shall be given unto you again. You know what I'm saying? So you see the reciprocity of the kingdom. So you don't even have to worry about certain things. When you understand the reciprocity of the kingdom, you understand and you start operating in righteousness. You start operating upright. Start operating in the will of the Most High. You won't have a problem giving, because you know those things will be given back to you. You won't have a problem investing in the kingdom, because a lot of the investing in the kingdom deals with faith. You investing in the kingdom, understanding the reciprocity, understanding that those things are going to be given back. You're going to be met with those things and measured unto you again. I charge them that are rich. Give me that 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 17. I'll just say come when y'all are there. Come.
1 Timothy 6 and 17. Charge them that are rich in this world That they be not high-minded.
It says, charge them that are rich in this world that they be not high-minded. Come on.
Nor trust in the uncertain riches.
Nor will they trust in uncertain riches. Come on.
But in the living God, who giveth us richly all things to enjoy.
But they will trust in the who?
But trust in the living God, who giveth us richly all things
But
to
trust
enjoy.
in the living God, who giveth us richly all things to enjoy. Don't trust in no Jay-Z trying to sit at no table with no Edomites. Don't trust in the Popeyes chicken sandwiches. Trust in the Most High, giveth us richly all things to enjoy. Keep going.
That they do good, that they be rich in good works.
That they do good, that they be rich in good works. Come on.
Ready to distribute, willing to communicate.
Ready to distribute, willing to communicate, man. And so that's what we have to do. When we get our talents, just like the parables of the talents, when we get our talents, we got to be ready to distribute, ready to invest. That's what the whole parables of the talents is. What did you invest? When I gave you those talents, I needed to see an increase. You got to be investing those talents. You mean investing your coins, your finances, your time, your energy, and exhorting the Most High and doing His will. Verse 19.
Verse 19. Laying up and stored for themselves a good foundation against the time to come, that they may lay hold on eternal life.
Them that are rich.
The book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 19. Charge
read it
them.
from the top.
Verse 17. So like it. Charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches.
So charge them that are rich, so they don't be high-minded, so they don't be prideful, thinking that they got this on their own, and nor trust in uncertain riches, nor trust in those fantasies of this world, where we want to be these great athletes, where we want to be these great
rappers.
Right. Where we want to be these great rappers, man. We want to be the greatest stripper.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't trust in uncertain riches. Keep going.
Who giveth us richly all things to enjoy.
But in the living God.
But in the living God, Shalakia, who giveth us richly all things to enjoy, that they do good, that they be rich in good works, ready to distribute, willing to communicate, laying up in store for themselves a good foundation against the time to come, that they be laid hold on eternal life.
Laying up in store for themselves a good foundation against the time to come, that they may lay hold on eternal life. And that's the investment. Your investment is they that do good, and they will be rich in good works, ready to distribute, willing to communicate. Those are the people that's going to lay up a good foundation against the time to come, man. Those are the ones who's going to have an investment that's going to sustain itself until the kingdom comes. All right, and that investment is going to get them eternal life. All right, the kingdom is like Matthew chapter 13, verse 44.
The book of Matthew chapter 13, verse 44. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a treasure hid in a field.
It says the kingdom of heaven is like unto a treasure hidden in a field. Come on.
By which when a man hath found, he hideth, and for joy thereof goeth and selleth all that he had, and buyeth that field.
That's what I'm saying. He invested. But this man invested all that he has to inquire, to buy this field. And he had to hide it. He kept it to himself. And for joy thereof goeth and sell all that he have and buyeth that field. And watch the next parable.
Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a merchant man seeking goodly pearls, who when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and bought it.
He went and sold all that he had and bought it. That's investing. Investing in this kingdom means investing everything. Once you understand the reciprocity of the kingdom, once you really truly and have faith and believe in what you're investing in, you'll be able to invest all. You'll be able to invest all. And you'll be like that merchant that has that goodly pearl. I want y'all to watch this.
Simple. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. But under no circumstances do you ask for the money back.
Why not?
Because it's not part of the rules.
Oh, yeah? Well, you know, Billy, I got a different set of rules of my own. You want to hear them? Here they go. Sometimes when you win, you really lose. And sometimes when you lose, you really win. And sometimes when you win or lose, you actually tie. And sometimes when you tie, you actually win or lose.
I hate it when you talk like that. It makes me crazy when you talk like that.
Winning and losing is all one big organic globule.
You heard what she said? She said sometimes when you win, you lose. Sometimes when you lose, you actually win. Sometimes when you win or lose, you actually draw. Sometimes when you draw, you actually win or lose.
No, she said sometimes when you draw, you actually lose.
You actually win or lose. Right? So it sounded a little confusing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What was that
from
last
a movie
line
from,
she said?
White Man Can't Jump. She was saying winning and losing is just like some kind of conglomerate. It's just they all kind of mesh together.
Right.
It just depends on how you look at it.
Right.
All right. Now we're gonna try to see winning and losing from a spiritual aspect. What will you lose to win? Because that's how the kingdom is set up. The kingdom is set up about losing or denying self or losing worldly lust to actually win, to actually gain the spirit, to actually gain the ruach. We're going to go to 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11. That was a snippet from White Man Can't Jump. I'll probably add it to the class, cut it in there. Let's say come when y'all there. Second Timothy 2 and 11.
2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11. It is a faithful saying, for if we be dead with him, we shall also live with him.
It says it's a faithful saying. If we be dead with him, we shall also live with him. Come on.
If we suffer, we shall also reign with him.
And if we suffer, we shall also reign with him. And see, that's what we don't understand, that the reign comes with suffering. That the throne comes with suffering. Before you get on the throne, it's gonna take some suffering. A lot of us come into this walk and think everything just gonna be bubbles and chipmunks gonna be dancing around, pit bulls ain't gonna bark at you. Everything just gonna be chipper. Everything just gonna line itself up. And that's not what's gonna happen. A lot of times you're gonna face a storm. And then if you don't hearken, if you still don't come and walk in his will, you're gonna be in a hurricane. And everything gonna be spinning around. You're gonna be losing everything, you're gonna be getting chastened. It's like the trial is gonna turn into a whooping. And that's what happened to us sometimes, and we just stay in the same little cipher because we don't pad the test. The darn storm and end up turning into a darn hurricane, and we end up the trial and the tribulation, it ends up turning into a chastening. It ends up turning into us getting whooped for disobedience. But if we suffer, we shall also reign with him. Come on.
We shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he will also deny us.
If we deny him, he gonna deny us. This is reciprocity of the kingdom. Those things you said, but you deny him here, he gonna deny you up there. All right. You want to suffer here? You suffer here. You die with him. You gonna live with him. You suffer like he suffered. You gonna reign like he reigned. Well, you ain't gonna reign like he reigned, but you gonna reign with him. Keep going.
If we believe not, yet he abideth faithful. He cannot deny himself.
Can't deny himself, man. He dwells within you. He can't deny himself. All right. Philippians chapter 3, verse 8.
Philippians chapter 3, verse 8. Yea, doubtless, I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Christ Jesus.
Let me start at verse 7. But what things were gained to me, verse 7, but what things were gained to me, those I counted lost for Yahushua. Verse 8, go ahead and read.
Verse 8, yea, doubtless, and I count all things, but lost for the excellency of the knowledge of Christ Jesus, my Lord, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them but dung.
They said, how much? What did you have to? What did the merchant? What did the merchant have to do to buy the pearl?
Sell everything.
He had to sell everything. Then you see Paul sitting up here saying, "For the excellency of the knowledge of Yahushua, the Hamashiach, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them things as what?
Lost.
Nuh-uh. Look what it said.
Dung.
Dung. They weren't nothing. They weren't nothing. It was dung to him that I may win Yahushua, that you can enter into the kingdom. It's nothing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we holding on to them. We locked in trying to hold on to nothing. Sometimes when you win, you lose. Alright, Matthew chapter 16, verse 24. So we seen Paul, he had gained a lot, man. He was prestigious, he was high ranking among the Pharisees, among the sects. You know what I'm saying? He had it. He was the man, he was the guy for a little second. Until he came into the knowledge of Yahushua, and then he lost all. And losing all, he counted it all dung. He knew it wasn't worth it. And he achieved, he was that merchant that got that godly pearl, that goodly pearl. And to be satisfied with that, man, to have that pearl and be satisfied with that, just to know that that's all you need. Matthew chapter 16, verse 24.
The book of Matthew chapter 16, verse 24. Then Jesus said it to his disciples, if any man would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me.
If any man want to come after me, let him deny himself. Come on.
For whosoever will save his life shall lose it.
Whosoever shall save his life shall what?
Shall lose it.
Shall lose it. Come on.
And whosoever shall lose his life for my sake shall find it.
And whoever loses his life for his sake shall find it. Come on.
For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own life?
So if you gain the whole world, that's a win. But you lose your own soul, that's a loss.
Right.
So sometimes when you win, you actually lose. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when you lose, whosoever shall lose his life for my name's sake shall find it.
Right.
So sometimes when you win, you lose. Sometimes when you lose, you actually win. Keep going.
And what shall a man give in exchange for his own soul?
And what shall a man give for an exchange for his soul, man? What shall he give for that? Matthew chapter 10, verse 37.
The book of Matthew. The book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 37. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me.
He that loveth father and mother more than me is not worthy of me. Come on.
And he that loveth his son and daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
Come on.
And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me.
And he that taketh not his cross is not worthy of me. Come on.
He that findeth his life shall lose it.
Uh-huh.
And he that loseth his life for my name's sake shall find it.
Come on.
He that receiveth you receiveth me.
He that receiveth you receiveth me. And that's also reciprocity in actually, helping brothers that's going out here on these street corners, on these highways and byways. We had had Issachar bring us a whole thing of waters last camp.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He brought them big old Dasani. Y'all remember the big Dasani that came out there? Yeah.
Yeah, this right here.
Yep. Issachar came in, brought like 20 of them. And we wouldn't have made it. We wouldn't have made it with the waters that we had. We thought we had enough.
Right.
But we came back, the cooler empty. You know what I'm saying? So we really didn't even have enough. Issachar came through with those waters. I ain't know those brothers weren't gonna bring no cooler. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Issachar came through with that. But he that receiveth you shall receive me. Come on.
He received me. He that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me.
And he that receiveth Yahushua receiveth him that sent them, which is Yahweh with the Father. Come on.
He that receiveth the prophet in the name of the prophet shall receive a prophet's reward.
And those that receiveth a prophet receiveth a prophet's reward. Come on.
He that receiveth a righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man's reward.
And so they gonna receive a righteous man reward. Come on.
And whatsoever shall give to drink unto one of these little ones a cup of water, only in the name of a disciple, verily I say unto you, he shall no wise shall lose his reward.
And like Issachar, he
Right,
no
I
wise,
was thinking that.
no wise he gonna lose his reward, man. I almost said, you know what, man, we good on the water, man.
Right.
We got a cooler water. But we wasn't good. We didn't have enough.
Right.
And he'll you know what I'm saying? You know, Issachar, they look at the fly, they don't really know, exactly what we doing, but they understand to an extent. But he said the Most High sent them back, told him to bring some water. So he went back, turned around, grabbed at least it had to be about 10, 15, 20 waters, man. He just had a bag after bag after bag after bag. How do we store heavenly treasures? A lot of times people see that, man, we got to store up them heavenly treasures, man. How we store up them heavenly treasures? Matthew chapter 19, verse 16. And I ain't seen it nowhere else. Anybody see it somewhere else? Let me know. Please, I beg of you, show me another way to store them up. Matthew chapter 19, verse 16.
Book of Matthew chapter 19, verse 16. And behold,
put it in the comments too.
And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? And he said unto him, Why callest me good? There is none good but one, that is God. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments.
He said, if you want to enter into life, do what?
Keep the commandments.
If you want to enter into life, do what?
Keep the commandments.
Now, a lot of times we like to stop right there and say, see, you got to keep the commandments. That's how you going to enter into life. Keep going.
He said unto him, which Jesus said, Thou shalt not do no murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt honor thy mother and thy father. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. The young man said to him, All these things have I kept from my youth up.
And the young man said what to him?
All these things have I kept from my youth up.
And the young man said, all these things I done kept since my youth. I kept the law since my youth.
What lack I yet?
What am I still lacking? And see, a lot of us, we keep the law, just like the Pharisees. We keep the law, but still we are lacking something because we still have hatred for our brothers. We still having these little inner beefs. We still sitting amongst our brothers and looking at our brothers' wives. You know what I'm saying? We still have these inner demons that we dealing with because we still lacking something. And a lot of times we lacking because we scared to lose. We scared to lose ourselves. We scared to invest in the kingdom. Keep going.
Jesus said it to him, If thou wilt be perfect.
He said if you want to be, and it's a precept for how you become perfect. How you become mature, how you get off of the milk. You can know the precepts all day, but how do you become perfect? Yahweh I said, if you want to be perfect, okay, you got enough. Listen, you got enough to enter into life. But if you want to be perfect, come on.
Go and sell what thou hast, and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasures in heaven.
And you're gonna have treasure where?
In heaven.
In the stock market.
In heaven.
You're gonna have some gold.
In heaven.
You're gonna have treasure in heaven. Come on.
And come and follow me.
And come and follow me. So you'll make that deposit. You pretty much making a foreign exchange, just like you have if you have in a different country. And just like I said, the kingdom is a government. So you making that foreign exchange. Just like if you had to go to Canada and you took that American money, you would exchange that for heavenly treasures. All right. Go and sell what thou hast, give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven. Give me Luke chapter 12, verse 23. All right, we just see it here that a lot of the stuff that we count, a lot of the things that we hold so dear and that we can't die to, are the things that's actually holding us back from going to the next level, from going to the next dimension, from being used by the Most High. A lot of people have 20, 30 people, in the camp and can't have no brick and mortar, don't have no building. You know what I'm saying? And that's because ain't nobody died. Ain't nobody died yet. Everybody's still doing for self. Everybody, the only reason, like your Yahweh ben Yahweh and what's the Malachi Z. York, a lot of them built those communities like that because those people died. You have to die to have a community like that. You know what I'm saying? Some other little folly going on, but I'm just talking about as far as the blueprint, even the Nation of Islam, as far as the blueprint, as far as nation building, as far as having something where we have schools and have certain things, and we actually separating ourselves. Because if we don't have our own, we ain't gonna be able to separate. We can talk about separating all day long, but we ain't separating if our kids still in the same school system. Our kids still watching the same show. Our kids still staying in the same neighborhoods. Our kids still eating the same food.
Right.
We still working around the same people. How much are we actually separating? We can say separate all day, but we ain't gonna be able to separate until we actually die. Until we mortify our flesh. Until we mortify the desires and cares for this world. And that's gonna make us stop being selfish. So we don't have the spirit of ownership. But we don't have, oh, I did this. That's why I can loan this school out to other camps and say, well, y'all can come in and y'all do y'all. Because it ain't mine. I don't say this mine, this my school. This belong to your house, this belong to the kingdom. This is an embassy for the kingdom. So I don't mind handling that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, y'all need to use school. Go ahead, use the school. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that spirit of ownership. Cause this ain't mine. Once you have the spirit of ownership, you're gonna be like, hey, nope, y'all can't come in here, man. Get your own, you know what I'm saying? You'll do your own thing. And we can't have that. We gonna have spirit building. And then you do that too to show the other camps what, you know what I'm saying? What the spirit look like, what that kingdom look like. So that can have that influence, so you can be influential. Because there are a lot of lessons that we not learning, and that's why we've been stagnant. It's been over 50 years, brothers been on the street corner teaching, and we still in storefronts. And it's hard to get in the storefront. And that's because we not dying. We not investing in the kingdom. So what are we investing in? We got at least 2,000-3,000. We got at least 2,000 Israelites in Atlanta. You're probably more than that. Probably more than that, man. And not to mention the individual likes, what you say, the Instagram likes. You know what I'm saying? But again, man, we gotta start investing in the kingdom. We'll invest all day in that Instagram and just get Instagram paid. We could have our own Instagram. You see what I'm saying? You have your own Instagram where you're not seeing, your kids ain't seeing bodies getting chopped up. You know what I'm saying? Then you get advertisements are coming in. Just like we was sitting at camp Saturday. You had Nation Islam selling them bean pie, but them bean pie were going. Bean pie were going. Was he selling them for himself? That money going where?
The Nation Islam?
To the nation, man. That money going to the nation. He invested in the nation. You be out there about to go crazy. Joe don't want to get out here on the highways and byways. Sitting out here on it. You ain't investing nothing into the kingdom, man. We got to take it to the next level. Gotta take it to the next level, man. So you ain't gotta listen. You gotta get on. You go out there and sell some waters. Go out there and sell some powerways. And donate to the nation. You know what I'm saying? But I say, all those things gotta, we gotta have a certain order, and those things gotta happen. But I'm just throwing these things out just to show that, you know what I'm saying, there's a lot more that we can be doing for as far as building up the kingdom, as far as being an embassy, as far as being a light unto the world. All right. Luke chapter 12, verse 23.
Book of Luke chapter 12, verse 23. The life is more than meat, and the body is more than raiment.
And see, that's exactly what we invest in. If somebody proud about anything, they're gonna be proud about what they eating. You're gonna be seeing Instagram pictures, and every time they go out to dinner, they showing a picture. They showing what they proud of, and that's all we proud of: the Fred outfit and the doing and what we eat. Then it be abominations. We see taking pictures of fried lobster tail, man. Come on, man. Matthew chapter 4, verse 4.
The book of Matthew chapter 4, verse 4. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word which proceedeth out of the mouth of God.
But every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God, we know the bread ain't just for the nourishing, but you know what I'm saying, it's symbolic for a lot of things, man. And those worldly things, you can't live off of those things alone. You can't live off of money. You can't live off of certain relationships. You know what I'm saying? Trying to, you know, because a lot of times we come into this walk, first thing we talk about, man, I got to get me a reel. Ain't got no mission, ain't got no purpose, ain't got
First
no
step.
What you need help with? You need the help, man. For what? What you need the help for?
Yeah, his friend is on. Huh?
I gotta give him that. She got so more fringes. I got.
So these friends.
You know what I'm saying? But we gotta get ourselves together first, man. He'll send that help, man. And that's what's happening a lot of times. That's why we going crazy on them, man, calling them dragons and all this stuff, because we not getting ourselves together. We going out here and forcing the issue. And what happens when you force the issue is you end up having a situation like Abraham and Hagar. It was Isaac and Hagar. That was Abraham and Hagar, right? Where they forced the issue. You know what I'm saying? Sarah forced the issue. Said, nah, we ain't waiting on the Most High. Go ahead and sleep with my handmaid. And then now you got an issue. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to kick her out. And you know what? Watch this. Abraham was sick about kicking Hagar out of them.
Right.
But he loved that. And why he loved him?
Yeah, she was young.
That's his son, but what else?
She was young.
She was young, firstborn. That his son. All them excellent. What the class about?
He's a king.
What the class about? Investing. He had a lot of investment in Ishmael. A lot of investment in his son. Taught him how to play frisbee, throwing the boomerang around.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of investment in that child, man. You know what I'm saying? He loved that child. And he loved Hagar. Sarah didn't have no investment. Sarah like, man, get up out of here, man. She gotta go. She gotta go, man. I don't care nothing about none of that, man. What she gonna eat? I don't care nothing about that. She gotta go. Ain't no way she can take their birthright. Anyway, Ecclesiastes 9 verse 4. But it's hard to let go of something you invested in. When you invest in it true, it's hard to let it go. You ain't invested nothing in it, you can just turn around, going back to the world. You just sat in front of a couple camps and you just going back to the world and just you know, nobody know you changed, nobody know, you know what I'm saying? You ain't invested nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy for you to turn around. When you done invested, you know, put your time in, you know what I'm saying? It's hard for you to go back into the world. People gonna be like, man, hey man, I thought you did. You supposed to be doing that, but you done left. You started. You and your friends yet. You know what I'm saying? But if you just, you know, if you want them lookies, you a little lukewarm, then you know what I'm saying. It's gonna be easy for you to turn back, and nobody gonna question it. Right. You gonna squeeze you out, and it's gonna be easy for you to be out there, man, in and out. Ecclesiastes 9 verse 4.
Ecclesiastes 9 and 4. For to him that is joined all the living, there is hope.
Uh-huh.
But a living dog is better than a dead lion.
A living dog is better than a dead lion, man. So all those riches and all those things that are in the world, man, it's still better to be a living dog than be a dead lion. And that's what we out here trying to be. There's a lot of dead lions out here, man. A lot of brothers out here. You got the lions sitting next to on their profile picture. I don't know when Facebook put the little lions next to the profile pictures. There's a lot of dead lions out here, man. A lot of lions, a lot of dead Israelites out here, man, that ain't really walking this thing out, man. And not really laying their brick down. Alright, give me Revelation chapter 3, verse 18. And like I say, you don't invest in it, you don't respect it. If you invest in it, if you pay for the car, you're gonna keep up with it. I remember even me being Cardinal, being out there in the streets. when I had a little trap spot, I watched the Joker, and I remember this vividly, man, because I knew I knew I done went too deep, but I watched the Joker dump his ashes right on my floor, on the floor. Hit the blunt, dumped it right on the floor, pop, pop. I said, wow. Yeah, just hop, top, top, right on the floor. And you know, that's because you used to being outside smoking, you know what I'm saying? Everybody drinking, everybody out their mind, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I had to check him on it. But at the same time, he pointed at an ashtray that's flipped over. With the ashes, somebody kicked the ashtray over, and instead of picking it up, just left the ashtray sitting there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm about to say, somebody put ash on top of that?
No. But and I'm just saying this to say
Right.
that, you know, he wasn't paying for nothing, but he watched the way I was taking care of the house,
Okay.
and that I didn't have a respect for it. So he ain't have a respect for it either.
Ashes on the floor.
It's already, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But you know, that was the. But then I had to look at it. You know, I still checked him on, but I still had to look at it like, yeah, man, you know that.
Don't worry about
better
that.
than
Clean
that.
this up anyway.
Yeah, you gotta do better. You gotta do better than this, man. Because they don't respect it at all. And then these are folks you got around. And a lot of times you have to evaluate that, man, because you'll have people around that don't really respect because they ain't never paid for it. They ain't never invested in it. So they don't really appreciate it like that. You know what I'm saying? Once you pay for something, you pay for a house. I don't care if it's a one room shack. If you paid for it and you had to go through something to pay for it, you gonna take care of that person, and they gonna gain the respect for on how you take care of it. If you just got a sink full of dishes, they gonna throw that dish right up there and on top of the pile of dishes.
Right.
If your sink is clean, just watch. If your sink is clean, ain't no dishes in there, they gonna try to rinse that. They gonna hit it with a little soap, try to rinse that dish out. If it's their first time over there, they gonna try to rinse that dish out, try to put it, or ask where you put it at. Yeah, because everything already neat. They know not, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? But if you leave it messed up and they around it messed up, they gonna try to have that same, and that's how your light shines, you know what I'm saying, also.
It's like driving a car.
Right.
Somebody drive it like it's yours.
Right.
And I be burning my tires.
But burn it, right.
They over speed bumps and shit.
Right. When they ain't paid for it, or you know, you go back into the streets. When somebody get a J car, you going crazy in it, I'm finna. But Murphy just gave me a car, but I'm finna go crazy in this thing. I'm finna. You wanna race? You ready today? No, Murphy got that in me, boy. You know what I'm saying? But so you gotta examine the way you take care of your things, the way you take care of your environment. There's a direct effect on how people gon', you know what I'm saying, gon' view it and gon' value it. And then your investment is you putting that value on it. Revelation chapter 3 verse 18. We gonna break this thing down individually. Revelation chapter 3 verse 18.
The book of Revelations, chapter 3, and verse 18. I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire.
He said, I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire. See, once it's tried in that fire, it's going to become valuable. Gold that's given to you, it don't have no value. As the prodigal son. You got that inheritance, when it's just given to you like that, you don't value it. When you have to work for it, you going to value it. Keep going.
That thou mayest be rich in white raiment.
And white raiment, and that's the raiment that counts. Come on.
That thou beest clothed.
That thou beest clothed. Come on.
And thou that shame of thy nakedness do not appear.
And that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear. Come on.
And anoint thine eyes with thy eye slave.
And anoint thy eyes with eye slaw. Come on.
That thou mayest see.
That thou mayest see. So these things in this verse, you had spiritually, you looking at poor, naked, and blind, right? For the gold being the value, the white raiment meaning the virtue or the divine morale, and the eye slaw pretty much being vision. All right, we look at the goals. Isaiah 48:10. Let's say, "Come when y'all there." Isaiah chapter 48, verse 10. And you talk about the goal, because you got to go through something to appreciate it. That's why you got to appreciate the fall. That's why it's only certain people that make it, man. It's a certain formula to having that discipline that it takes, man, to go to the next level. To have that discipline that it takes to dig yourself out of certain situation, man. You know what I'm saying? It takes to go guerrilla mode. You know, I be telling brothers go guerrilla mode, but sometimes they just ain't in it because they ain't been through enough. You go through a certain things to dig yourself out. You know what it takes. You had that discipline. You had that endurance. You just like running. I can't tell nobody to just go out here and run 4 miles if they ain't trained and ran the 2 yet. Or they ain't trained and ran the 3. It's a certain level, certain things you know had to dig yourself out of to get to that next level. When you get deeper, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just a roller coaster. Isaiah 40:18. Go ahead, Al.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 48, verse 10. Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction.
It said, I refined thee, but not of silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. So in those afflictions, we get chosen. We get chosen because we'll see how pure the gold is. Because that pure gold is not going to get tarnished. It's not going to get tarnished. It's not going to get affected by that furnace. But you'll be proven by that furnace. So if you get chose in that fire, a lot of times we'll run from that fire. We'll run from the elect. We'll run from being elected. We'll run from our purpose. Give me Psalms chapter 66, verse 10. Just say, come when y'all done. Psalm 66:10.
For the Psalm, chapter 66, verse 10. For thou, O God, hast proved us that thou hast tried us, as silver is tried.
Y'all have proved us. You've tried us as silver is tried. Come on.
Thou broughtest us into the net. Thou laidest affliction upon our loins.
You laid affliction upon our loins. Come on.
Thou hast caused men to ride over our heads. We ran through fire and through water, but thou broughtest us into a wealthy place.
See, once you go through that fire and then you get drenched off with that water, you'll be brought to a wealthy place. Come on.
I will go into thy house with burnt offerings. I will pay thee my vows.
I will pay thee my vows. Because a lot of times when we go through certain afflictions, we make vows to the Most High. Oh, if you get me out of this, I'm telling you, I'm going to do right this time. I'm gonna be in there every time. I'm gonna be out there with Shabbat class. I'm gonna be out there teaching. I'm gonna be diligent, for you. Go ahead and just get me out of this jail right here, and then he get you out, and then you just forget all about that vow you made. Come on. I will pay thee my vows. Verse 14.
Which my lips have uttered, and my mouth have spoken.
Come on.
When I was in trouble.
When I was in trouble. I was gonna pay back my vows which my lips have uttered, and my mouth has spoken when I was in trouble. All right, let's look at the white raiment. Matter of fact, give me that Sirach chapter 2, verse 1. Read down to where it say, try it like gold.
The book of Sirach, chapter 2, and verse 1.
And we be reading that Sirach all the time, and we read that Sirach 2 all the time. Prepare thou soul for when you come to serve the Lord. Prepare thy soul for temptation. We read it all the time, but we don't really prepare our soul. We don't really prepare ourselves. Come on.
My son, if thou wilt come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure.
It says set thy heart aright, man. Set your mind aright. That's rightful thinking. You got to get your thoughts together. Come on. You got to get your thoughts thinking on the will of the Father. You got to get your thoughts out of the gutter, out of the world, and into meditating on these words day and night. Come on.
And constantly endure.
And constantly endure. Come on.
And make not haste in the time of trouble.
And make not haste in the time of trouble. Come on.
Cleave it to him and depart not away. that thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
So you can be increased at the last end. Come on.
Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to the Lord's state. For gold is tried in the fire, and
gold is tried in the fire, and what?
And acceptable in the men, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
And acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. You're not gonna become acceptable till you get through that adversity. Alright, you gotta be proven in that furnace, in that fire. White raiment. We talk about the clothing, talk about the proper covering. The Isaiah 30, man, they covered themselves with a covering, but not of me. You want to make sure that you have on this white raiment. You want to make sure that you clothe during that day of judgment, like that Zephaniah 1:8. Read it for me real quick.
And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord's sacrifice that I will punish the princes and the king's children, and all such are clothed with strange apparel.
Alright. So all those clothing, strange apparel, a lot of time, you know, we use that for that fringes, and it does correspond with that, but also corresponding, you know what I'm saying, with this white raiment, man, and actually purging ourselves away from these sins and having this proper covering when we facing that judgment. Revelation chapter 3 verse 5.
The book of Revelation chapter 3 verse 5. He that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white raiment.
It says, he that overcometh, he shall be clothed in what?
White raiment.
He gonna be clothed in white raiment. Come on.
And I will not blot out his name out of the book of life.
And I will not blot out his name out of the book of life. Come on.
But I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels.
And I will profess his name. Those that are clothed in the white raiment. Give me Zechariah 3:3. Let me say calm, y'all there.
The book of Zechariah chapter 3 verse 3. Now Joshua was clothed with filthy garments and stood before the angel, and the answered and spoke unto those that stood before him, saying, take away thy filthy garments from him.
They say now Joshua was clothed with filthy garments, and I was saying a lot of us before we came into this walk, we were clothed in filthy garments. Come on, and stood before the angel, and he answered and spake unto those that stood before him, saying, take away the filthy garments from him. Come on.
And unto him he said, behold, I have caused thy iniquity to pass from thee, and I will clothe thee with the change of raiment.
And so I done caused the iniquity to pass from thee, and he clothed thee with a change of arraignment. Once we start beating these sins, once we start walking upright, we can get an internal change of arrangement. Come on. Change arrangement. Raiment.
Verse 5. And I said, let them set a fair mitre upon his head. And so they set a fair mitre upon his head, and clothed him with garments. And the angel of the Lord stood by, and the angel of the Lord protested unto Joshua, saying.
And so they set a mitre upon his head, and clothed him with garments. And the angel of the Lord stood by and protested for Joshua. Come on. And the Most High protested for Joshua. The angel of the Lord protested for Joshua. Come on.
Thus said the Lord of hosts, if thou wilt walk in my way, and if thou wilt keep my charge, then thou shalt also judge my house, and shalt also keep my courts. And I will give thee places to walk among these that stand by.
And I will give thee places to walk, if thou walk in my ways. If thou walk in my way, and walk in my ways, and keep my charge, you will judge my house, walk in my courts, and walk in these places. All right. Vision. Isaiah 59 verse 10.
The book of Isaiah chapter 59 verse 10. We grope for the wall like the blind. We grope as if we had no eyes. We stumble at noonday in the night. We are in desolate places as dead men.
So we grope for the wall like blind. Like the blind, we grope as if we had no eyes. We stumble at noonday, as in night we are in desolate places, man. So those are the, you know what I'm saying, when we lacking vision, that's what we out here doing, man. A lot of us that are out here in this world stumbling, trying to find the wall, trying to find some kind of security, and messing around and grabbing and sticking their fingers into the electrical sockets, or sticking their fingers onto the stove and cutting the stove on. Especially when they asking for help from these oppressors, man. Asking for help for the exact people that got them in darkness. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 19.
Book of Proverbs chapter 4, verse 19. The way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not what they stumble.
See, the way of the wicked is as darkness. They don't know what they stumble. See, a lot of us don't know why we all dropping mixtapes and why we all selling drugs. A lot of us don't know why we all trying to play sports, why we all trying to be strippers, why we all trying to be female rappers. A lot of us don't know why we trying to be homosexuals. You know what I'm saying? Why we trying to be transgender. Why that's trending now. That's the trend now. You know what I'm saying? All the male rappers pretty much gay. Even the hard ones. With the grills, with the Johnny Dang grill. How you hang around Johnny Dang? How you taking Instagram photo with Johnny like that? That ain't, I don't even. And you know he just robbing you. And he just goofy, just sit up there, yeah man, damn good man, that's it, man. Yeah man, and then he taking that out like, man, you dummies. But they blind and they don't know what they stumble at. You bragging on having 9, 10 grills that you can't even eat in. Why you know? Anyway, keep going on that.
The Proverbs, Shalaki. Let them not
Proverbs
depart.
4:19.
Say,
Verse 20.
verse 20. My son, attend to my words, incline thy ear to my sayings. Let them not depart from thy eyes. Keep them in the midst of thy heart, for they are life until those that find them.
He
And
said, keep my words in the midst of thy heart, in the midst of your thoughts. That's why you got to meditate on these scriptures day and night. For they are life unto those that find them. Come on.
and health to all their flesh.
And health to all their flesh. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3.
Book of 2 Corinthians.
Let's wait till everybody get there.
Book of 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, shall shine upon them, to them.
Alright, in whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not. So a lot of those people who don't believe in the Hamashiach, a lot of those people have been blinded. They have been blinded by the prince of power of the air, by Hasatan, by these devils, by Esau, by the white man. Proverbs 29, verse 18.
Proverbs 29 and 18.
Let it get there.
So like it.
We're going to work on it.
Book of Proverbs chapter
29 verse 18.
Book of Proverbs chapter 29 verse 18. Where there is no vision, the people perish.
It says, where there is no vision, the people what?
Perish.
The people perish. That word perish, I think, is parah in the Hebrew. And it means to cast off restraint. It means to cast off restraint. So when there is no vision, people are going to cast off restraint. But he that keepeth the law is what?
But he that keepeth the law, happy is he.
But he that keepeth the law, happy is he. But he that has no vision, he that has no revelation, he that has no revealing, he's not gonna have no restraints. Anything can go. See, once you have a vision, once you have a purpose, you know where to feed that purpose, and you know what's not good for that purpose. It's easy for you to say, nope, I don't need that, I don't need to buy that, because that's not going to get me where I need to go. No, I don't need to eat that, because that's not going to get me where I need to go. All right, give me Matthew 19:29, and then we're going to close out. So we'll understand what that investment gets you. And you gotta believe it. If you believe it, once you believe, if you believe, like it sounds good, you can read it out good, huh? Huh? 19:29.
Oh.
It sounds good, man, and you can read it all day, but if you believe it, it'll be hard for you. Everything in this lesson will be horky-dory if you actually believe in Matthew 19:29. If you understand what your investment gives you.
The book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 29. And everyone that have forsaken houses and brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life.
Every dollar get you 100. Every dollar invested get you 100 and everlasting life. If you believe that, it'll be easy for you to get through that class and be like, you know what, man, you know it ain't that hard to let go. If you know that, but you got to build up your faith with knowing that. But then I'm gonna say with Shalom, you got anything out?
Yeah, start with 27. Kind of ties everything.
So, the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee.
And see, Peter's asking what his reward gonna be, because the other disciples said they was like it was gonna be too hard. When the disciples heard it, they were exceedingly amazed, saying, "Who then can be saved?" And it's right after, you know what I'm saying, talking about the eye. It's gonna be hard for a rich man to enter into the kingdom. But they thought it was too hard. But Peter stepped up. You know, Peter always gonna step up. Peter stepped up, was like, you know what I'm saying? We done did that. We done forsaked all. We done left everything to follow thee. And see, that's how you gotta, this is the people you gotta look at. Don't look at no elders. Don't look at me. Don't look at the forefathers in the book, those who already got the reward. That's where your expectation gotta be. It can't stop, well, you know, well, Phoenix, he doing this, he doing that. And you know, Phoenix, I might not make it. You need to be looking at the forefathers, those leaders that are in the scriptures, those who already got that's our name already in the book. We reading them in the book. That's who you need to be setting your expectation. That's who you got to be comparing yourself to. Are we walking? Have we forsaken like Peter and Mark? Have we forsaken like John? John's out there in the wilderness with camel skin on, eating locusts. He wasn't driving no Lambo, man. And he was called a what? Nuh-uh. What did Yahushua call him?
Oh, he was the greatest.
He was the greatest among all men. He's greatest among all the men that's been here, man. The one wearing camel skin, eating crickets in the woods, not in the city. Could have been in the city, had a crowd. Not in the city, passing no collection plate round in no mega church, man. He was in the wilderness with some doing camel skin, waiting on the Messiah, man, waiting on that perfect lamb. But keep going from that verse 27.
Verse 27. And follow thee, what shall we have therefore? And Jesus said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me, in the regeneration when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, Ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
Y'all also gonna sit on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes. Come on.
Everyone that forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life. But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first.
And many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first, man.
And there's something else you read earlier was, and when you just read that, if you follow that, he that overcome, which is
That he that endure to the end.
yeah, the 3 and 5, Revelation 3 and 5. When you read that, if you follow that with this, say he that overcome, because when Peter asked him, "What we did everything, what else can we do?"
Right.
And that's when you go back to 3 and 5. Say he that overcome, the same should clothe in the right linen.
In the white linen, right?
Exactly, because you remember he says that I will sit with you near my Father.
I have supped with you, right?
Yeah, and all those who are gonna sit have to have that white.
And they're gonna have to have that white raiment.
Exactly, and
It ain't really, it ain't really, like, especially like the kings, like the wedding feast. They have on that proper garment when it talks about the wedding feast and having on that, and they kick that certain person out. He didn't have on that white raiment, and that white raiment meaning, you know what I'm saying, you done pretty much, repented from those sins and not went back on those sins and kept that raiment clean, just like Joshua got his. Come on. So you gonna have your fringes on, but it ain't necessarily talking about, you know what I'm saying, that ain't gonna be the most, because a lot of people gonna have their fringes on. It's not gonna have on that white raiment. It's still not gonna be in proper attire, huh?
The inside of the
That,
cup.
yeah, the inside of the cup, exactly, and that's what the whole Sermon on the Mount. That's what Yahweh was trying to tell everybody. Like, y'all can get the outside, but a lot of it's in the inside that you that count. You gotta circumcise the heart, huh? You gotta circumcise the heart. A lot of us dealing with those thinkers, man. That's why he enhanced it, because he was just showing you that they go deeper than that action. You gotta start. You gotta stop it. It start with the thoughts. It start with your heart. Go ahead,
And he also says, "No one go into the body, but will
Right.
come out with the foul of man." So you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not what's on the outside. We have fringes all day, but don't say anything about killing you or stealing something. Or I'm doing
You
this.
still wicked, man.
Still with this.
Yeah,
But you
still
got a
wicked.
brother who can't even afford fringes, but he keeping the law to the best of his ability. Also, I see that.
He still got a white raiment.
Right.
He still have a white raiment. You got anything else to add, Gad?
Yeah. When you
Yeah.
went back to 29, I think did you read 29, right?
The Matthew 19,
Yeah,
29?
yeah, 29. That's what you're. Yeah, exactly. And when he went back to, he says that, and you should get 100-fold and inherit everlasting life. That ties in with he that overcome, which is 2:26, Revelation 2:26. He that overcome and keep the works, his works, unto the end. To him I give power over the nation, and he shall rule with iron fist. So when he said, because 3 and 5 say you will climb to the Father. So you got to sit with the Father. He claim your name upon the angels and everything. That ties in strictly with Matthew 25, 29, 27. And that's the thing, though. You know, you should be able to tie the scriptures. And that's when you know, because a lot of time people read Revelation and it ties with the New Testament.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Anybody had anything else? Anybody want to speak on? Bring out? I appreciate y'all showing up for class, man. A lot of brothers hard out today, man. But we gotta stay diligent, man. Stay hungry for the word. You know what I'm saying?